an Anglican, and it's because of 2 pages essentially in this book, and I'm just going to tell you roughly them today. I'm going to explain who I am, where I come from, so you can get an understanding of me, and then why I'm Anglican, at least for the time being. So, a little bit about me. I am 28. I have 2 kids. One's 2, one's 0. Almost 3 in 1. I was cradle Catholic, Catholic primary school, Catholic secondary school, but I stopped receiving communion at my school when I was about 14 or 15, instead opting for a blessing, thinking that religion was inherently evil, crazy, bad, whatever, right? So then I went on an anti-religious spree for the next 10, 12, 13, 14 years maybe, 13 years. And then my partner was looking into Christianity. I was like, I don't like this, don't want it to be part of my kids. Then I started thinking about the fabric of society, etc. And then basically, Jesus is real, and then boom, Christian. But now I'm trying to figure out, where do I sit in this? Am I a Catholic? Am I what? I don't know. So basically, I was kind of non-denominational at first, as you are often when you come to Christ in the modern era, which is because the idea of the church transcends the institution. And I don't mean that as against the one true church, but how it's expressed in the world because of things like online. Like basically we live in an interconnected world, and that connection manifests more than just in the physical. Sure, it's physical, the internet, but you understand what I mean. You don't have to meet someone to be acquainted with an idea now, which is revolutionary. This is kind of how I've come into Christianity, listening to podcasts, etc. I was super into orthodoxy initially. It was like one true church, totally makes sense. But then as I started to see behind the attire and the place they were in, you started looking at the ideas, and some of the ideas were kind of controversial. Iconoclasm type stuff, whatever, anathemas, and definitionally, what is the church? I'm still wrestling with all of these ideas. But for now, I think I'm Anglican. So orthodoxy was my original idea, but I haven't gone to an Orthodox church. There's like one in my area, which is, I think, a Romanian one. I think it is in Romanian. Only Romanians go there. One of these kind of things where it's culture shock to me as well. So Catholic, I haven't gone to there either, but I have gone to Anglican and Baptist churches. So I've been looking, thinking I need to figure out the one true church so that I can get married, basically. That's one of the big ones. And secondly is like baptism for my children, for my partner, because I was baptized as a child because I'm Catholic. So either I've been baptized by the Holy Spirit then, or recently when I've come to Christ. Either way, win-win, I'm fine. It's like Pascal's wager for baptism, whereas she has not. So she's like, I need to get baptized. And then I keep kind of putting the brakes on and being like, let's figure out where we should get baptized first, because you're joining a community. Anyway, so I'm reading this book, Knowing God by J.I. Packer, which was given to me by my associate minister. So basically, that local Anglican church, the associate minister was previously a Baptist pastor. Excuse my references and stuff. I'm new to all of this stuff. But he was previously like a Baptist pastor, now an associate minister at Anglican church. Anyway, he gave me this book when I was asking questions about like, what is God? But not in a sense of like, well, what is God? Because I kind of understood that sense, but more like, how would one believe in God in the Old Testament? Because to me, it just seems that we would believe in God because of Jesus, who we can then believe apparently from factual information. Anyway, that conversation led to this book, which is like, here, just have this. It can sit on your reading shelf if you ever want to read it, which is funny. But anyway, started reading it, and literally the first bit, the foreword here, which is what, 6 pages, not even 4 pages. And he talks about in here this thing called travelers and balconiers. Basically, imagine you're in like Barcelona or something like that, and you have people who travel underneath, you have people on the balcony up above, and so the balconiers, they can continually guess, judge, critique travelers because they have this viewpoint, this vantage point of not being part of the flow of people. They can just kind of look down and go, right, he's gone the wrong way, he's got the wrong shoes, he's wearing something this, he shouldn't be going there, blah blah blah. But the problem is, they never get anywhere. They never move. They never move towards or away from the truth. They're just stuck on the balcony looking down. And I'm going to be adding a little bit to the idea here, just because it's my own interpretation of it. Whereas the travellers below are the Christians, and they are different Christians. So you have, whatever ones, Orthodox, Eastern Orthodox, Oriental, Roman Catholics, whatever, Eastern Catholics, so Catholic, non-denominational, whatever, Baptist, Anglican, etc. And so then they're all moving, travelling, and the problem becomes then that if you're a balconier, which was what I have been now for, 8 months, 9 months, 9 months-ish, I haven't really been going to a specific church or attending any specific one. I have an idea of what I think the church might be, but it changes every day. And then I realise I'm a balconier. And the problem with being a balconier this long is that I either have to sit down and study for however however long it's going to take till I figure out this answer. Because like I'm first just getting a lay of the land, then you have to get an introduction to history and across time and how things manifest, etc. Which, for context, the reason I'm not Catholic is because I have yet to read and understand some specific point or argument and go, bingo, that sounds legit, other than appealing to, that sounds like it would make sense, or that sounds like a worldly realization that would help. You know, that's not a truth claim. Truth claims are kind of what I continually try to realign myself to. In any case, I have now become a traveller. And as a traveller, someone moving around, I have to pick, where am I going towards? Which route are we travelling at this moment? And so as I see it right now, Anglicanism is probably the best one for me. It's essentially a shelter from the theological storm that I feel like I'm in. I have a sense that children should be baptised. For, you know, I don't have to go into the specific reasons in this video, but just a general overview I wanted to give of other people who may be in this similar situation. Well, I have a sense that apostolicity feels like it matters, mainly because of, well, a bunch of things, but a key one that's in my mind right now is the idea of like bishops. So if the bishops all come together to then scatter out heresy, or to push out heresy, then who are they now, basically, is a way to think about it. But in any sense, it's the local church to me, because I live in England now. It's the church we've been going to. They are essentially the Reformed Catholic, and I don't want to subscribe to the Pope yet. I may not, I don't know. Eastern Orthodoxy, I'm not fully convinced of their claims as of yet. They're kind of, it's a hard thing to break into here, and if you're not really into it. And so Anglicanism's kind of the thing, you know, for me to fall into. And so if you're watching this video, the takeaway I want you to have, if you're new, if you're not new, by the way, please critique what I'm saying, give me advice. I'm just looking to put this online because the best way I think is by speaking. And I normally speak to my partner, and she's sick of listening to me go back and forth because it's freaking her out as well. So I thought I'll go back and forth on the internet. I'll be Catholic today, Anglican tomorrow, and that's fine because you can critique what I'm saying. So on this channel, we're going to try to essentially look at things from a factual perspective, a truth claim perspective, scriptural, of course, but all from the guise of like, I'm just a guy trying to figure this out, you know. And if you want to follow along the journey, please do, or comment below. But if you're new here and you're new to Christianity, I just want you to have this thought. If you've been sitting like me in your office, your spare bedroom, whatever, for months, maybe even years, reading about this, reading about that, you can't make up your mind, you're basically just a chronic online Christian viewer. You're basically like doom scrolling Christian content. I encourage you to become a traveller and to not become a balconier. Now, a balconier can only see so far, that you must travel the roads to reach the distance, really, to then understand if it's where you want to be or where you want to go, and then you have the option to turn back, you know. And you only have so many steps in this life, but you only have so much time in this life, so you're as well taking as many steps as possible. And I've come to terms with that, to accept that this Anglicanism portion of my journey may just be a portion, may just be a shelter, but it may be the home, and time will tell. So anyway, thanks for watching. Check out this book, read the first 4 pages, and I'll see you later. God bless.